Welcome to CheckMate for SolidWorks Tech Tips. Today we're going to be reviewing the process of creating some surface points, specifically as a multi-point augmented line. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using the measure ribbon where it says measure surface point. So if we go and click on that, and we say we want to do a group of measurements from here to here, and then we hit enter, what we get is simply two simple points. And you can see in the programming browser, multi-point surface, 2 points. That's not exactly what we want. We want it to be a whole bunch of points in between, almost like a peck point scan almost. So this is no good. This is not what we want. And if I go and let's delete this. And there's another thing we can do. We can execute this measure surface point command, and we could pick multiple points. Whoops. There we go, and hit enter. And now we get ourselves a nice little multi-point surface measurement, but they're not in a straight line. We did it by eye, so that I want to have a nice straight line, and definitely I want equal spacing between each one of these points. So this is no good either. So let's delete that. The way to do the procedure to do this multi-point line with even spacing, the first thing we need to do is go to our setup and go to our CheckMate defaults, the CheckMate parameters. And what we need to do is we need to change this up at the top left here from easy picking to classic picking. This is our old style picking that used to require a final pick of the surface. So I would do 2 points and then the last pick is a surface. So we're going to go back to that style of picking just for a moment to do this command. Now when we go back to the measure ribbon and say measure surface point, now what I could do is I can pick the first point, pick the last point, and then of course we need to pick the surface. So I'm just going to pick anywhere over here to get the face. And now what we do is we hit enter, and we get this new prompt, and it's saying, do we want 2 points, do we want spacing, or do we want a flow line? Well, we didn't pick on a flow line. We don't want 2 points. We want to use the spacing modifier. And we'll talk about where this spacing value comes in just a moment. But let's say OK. Now we have a straight line of 13 points. Maybe the last one we want to get rid of, and you know how to do that. We just go to, because it's not evenly spaced, we'll go to the modify and say remove augmented point, maybe just to get rid of this last one. So what is the spacing used on these things? Well, if we go back to our CheckMate parameters, into our defaults, you can see about a third of the way down on the left side, there's a spacing option that's set to 5, in this case, millimeters. So if we wanted that spacing to be bigger or smaller, you could just adjust this before you go in and make the measurement. Thank you very much for watching.